Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Adams.
Present.
Commissioner Clark Griffin.
Present.
Commissioner Edwards.
Present.
Commissioner Henderson.
Present.
Commissioner Henry. Commissioner Isom.
Present.
Commissioner Singleton.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Seat. Mayor Mohammed.
Present. This brings us to the approval of minutes. Is there a motion for the approval?
Support.
Motion is made by Commissioner Henderson and supported by Commissioner Adams. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Commissioner Isom.
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Adams.
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin.
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards.
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carries.
This brings us to the next item, which is approval of accounts payable. Is there a motion for the approval?
Motion to approve.
Motion is made by Commissioner Adams and is supported by Commissioner Henderson. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Commissioner Isom.
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton.
Yes.
Commissioner Adams.
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin.
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards.
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Just some housekeeping rules. Please mute your cell phones or power them off to avoid disturbing the municipal meeting. This brings us to our update from our county commissioner, none other than the Honorable Mamie Yarborough.
Good evening.
Mic
Is
is
this the
finally
mic?
working. This is the mic
Good.
here.
Oh, thank you. Good evening. I thank you always for this opportunity to come and talk with you all. I know a lot of the things that I give you, you may have heard already, and for the audience, for the residents, I'm just pleased to do it and sometimes put my opinion to it. I have a number of things I would like to say, address Mayor Mohammed, commissioners, and residents. What I would like to first talk about is the Board of Canvassers have been appointed. And who they are, there's one Republican and one Democrat, and they're appointed for a number of years. So I want to let you know that last Thursday, we appointed the canvassers for the elections. And these names are submitted to Berrien County by the Democratic Party and by the Republican Party. And it doesn't happen every year because, as I can tell you, the Republicans presented a name to us, and it was Thomas Magajewski, term expiring October 31st, 2027. And then Audrey Lester was presented to us as an alternate, and her term would expire October 31st, 2027. And then Terry France's term will expire October 31st, 2027. She was not elected. And then there was another name presented, Erin Salvagione, term expiring October 31st, 2025. She was elected. And the persons that vote for her are the 12 members of the Berrien County Commission. And so what it is one person and an alternate from each party. And what they do is when the election and all the ballots are taken to the county, they look at them and they give an unofficial report because you want to know who's won and whatever. And then they start on Thursday, that's a Tuesday, the election is on a Tuesday, November 7th. And then on that Thursday, they start going really deep into them so that they can give an official, tally of what the election was, an official number. And that they don't expect that to go, they go 14 days, I think, allow that much time after the election to be able to give an official report. I just want to let you know how that works. And then what I'd like to let you know about is our apportionment report was presented to our finance committee, of which I am the chairperson. And we asked him to come. His name is Warren Parrish, and he's our assessor. And he will come this Thursday, the 19th, at our 10:30 board meeting and present to the whole board. And we will vote and accept it then. And I wanted you to know that so that if you find yourself that you have time to come and listen, this is about all the millages and all of that. And I want to let you know that what he told us was, get to this wonderful paper here. And I also want to bring to your attention, there is a millage renewal for the city of Benton Harbor this year. The proposed renewal of supplemental operating millage for 2023 of 10, let me do it like this, 10.000 mills. And the ballot estimates that with that millage renewal, you will receive $1,588,842 in revenue in the first year. It's been going all the time. And so please, I'm asking voters to look at the front of the ballot and turn it over. I don't know if there's anything on the back or not, but you need to see and know. And all residents can vote for this millage, but it is a tax that's added to property. And then there is, so I'm saying Benton Harbor is a renewal. It's already there, so it won't make that portion of their tax bill any larger. But then Weesaw Township is going to be on the ballot proposing a new fire millage for 2023 of 0.5000 mills. The ballot estimates $56,189 new revenue in the first year. And when there is a millage, it's not just for 1 year, it's for, this doesn't say, but we can ask him that day when he comes Thursday. But it goes for a number of years. Let's see, where am I? You all made a resolution and you voted for this early voting, and it's still being worked on. Marion County and the clerks all over Michigan, they're coming together with how it goes, because the goal is that in the 2024 election, there will be some new moves and new things that can happen. But they're getting it all together so that it can be all over the state of Michigan with the same rules and regulations. And so they're working very hard on that. I want to let you know that you've seen all the roads being done. Napier Avenue, from Niles Avenue all the way down. We made it, and this is Berrien County, made it a lane coming, a lane going, and a center lane for turning, and it's working. Some places want to say, no, we need 4 lanes. But when you get to that main street, when you get to Union, it fans out just like it was. And I said, the people that design highways and freeways and all are something, if you could see an aerial view of what it does. And so the next, I don't want to say big thing because they're working all over. In the morning, I've gone down streets. When I come back, I can't get through. So because they're doing sidewalks and drains, and I'm just real thankful for what's going on in our community. And I'm sure, as the governor has said, all over the state of Michigan, they're fixing roads and bridges. Napier Avenue, they put sidewalks there, and there have never been sidewalks. And so the next major thing that I know about is Crystal Avenue at Napier. Think about that, where the cemetery is. It's going to go all the way to Blue Creek Road, wherever that is, but down Napier. And that will be good for the businesses, for the farms, for the homes, because when they do the street, they do the size, they put in the bike lanes, and we don't quite know what else. But there's money coming from the state of Michigan to Berrien County to do that road. And so they're still working on and trying to decide, because they need to look at what's going to happen with this new road that's running into Holland, into 31, into whatever. It usually, when they do a road, things spring up all around it. So we're not going to move fast on it, but I want you to know And if you go that way, or if you live that way, there are some people with businesses, it's going to make a difference, and that all their things are going to be working and draining and doing what it's supposed to do. So what I want to say, again, I thank you all for your time and for listening to me. And I'm encouraging our residents to please vote. You think about, this is what I want to say, they don't first, all the way Washington DC and on down, they don't look at necessarily who won, they look at how many voted. And we need to do that because we have died to vote. Thank you.
Thank you for your report. It will be recorded in the minutes.
Thank you.
This brings us to the citizens' comments, public participation, 3-minute maximum per speaker. The city clerk will call you accordingly.
Bruce Buckaroo.
Good evening.
Good evening.
2 weeks ago, I was hopeful that we would have a cemetery board meeting this month, and we did. And it was probably one of the best cemetery board meetings that I've attended. I encourage you to go back through the minutes. They need your support. They'd like to do their job. The charter tells them they have a job. The city ordinances tells them they have a job. I've gone through emergency manager paperwork. I've gone through other paperwork. There's nothing that says they can't do their job. So they need your help. The leaves are starting to fall. And of course, that's going to create some opportunity for keeping up the good work that they've done in the cemetery, Crystal Springs. And so as we go for another month, the contract says they're supposed to remove the leaves. And I'm going to suspect that that means all of them. And so it took them a year to catch up from last year. So hopefully they'll be able to be on top of it for this year. I'd also like to point out that the rules that govern who or how you can decorate your grave have been terribly violated for years, and it's getting worse. There are people actually putting stones on top of the graves, and they're erecting signs, and it makes it difficult for them to maintain the grass, and it doesn't look that good either. And so I know it's a touchy subject, but the rules are the rules. And to that end, I've been attending these cemetery board meetings for almost 2 years now. 2 years ago, I had provided a list to Mr. Mitchell for things that needed to be done. For instance, there's no signs out there that say what the rules are. There's no signs that say who to contact if you have a problem. I had offered to design them. Remember, I came here saying, how could I help? There's still no signs. The contracts that are given out don't include the rules either. So at the same time, it's, you want to enforce the rules, but if people don't know what the rules are, then that's kind of hard to do too. So read the minutes of the cemetery board. It was a good meeting in there, asking you to help them be able to do their job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Burkett.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Yazdi Raquette. I am a small business owner in the area down on Pipestone, and I'm gonna set my, there we go. So I wrote this so I didn't forget anything. Today, I'm here to speak about a section on Pipestone that the city has been turning a blind eye to for years. I'm all about keeping the peace, getting along with neighbors, and being patient, but enough is enough. Everything is a process, is what I'm yet being told, and been told this for I've been over on Pipestone, my business, since 2015. I don't think I came down here until the first time, it was 2016. Seeing and putting up with okay, I just said that. I feel totally disrespected and disregarded as a taxpayer and a resident owner in the Benton Harbor community, paying right under $5,000 for summer taxes, believe it or not, on Pipestone in the historical district. Please allow me to tell you what that gets me. And the mental health residents and others that live in the immediate area. A view of mountains of trash collected and accumulated and ignored by the city. We get to spend money each year for traps, poisons, and exterminators. And even worse, and of most importance, we, all the residents in that immediate area, not just the 3 homes that I have right there on Pipestone, that the business is going on in, but also the immediate area, all the residents are being exposed to health hazards because of the diseases that the many mice and raccoons that has made home in those mountains of trash, trash cans, and homes. Excuse me. The city will ticket cars left on properties. They will fine people for grass being overgrown, but nothing has been done with that home on Pipestone, a main street in our city that we care about. Nothing has been done for years. It has done nothing, got higher, junkier, and nasty. And on record today, I would like to say, truly, this is a health hazard. In those homes live the mental health population. And this is how they are being cared for, with mice coming into the homes. We come out the door, there's raccoons all on the trash cans. And this is only because of, and I'm trying not to call names, but I'm pretty sure every one of you know exactly where and who I am talking about. And this is not about pointing fingers or who has dropped the ball. It's not about any of that. It's about a resolution. Something needs to be done, and it needs to be done this year immediately. Because again, this is year number 7 that I have said something. Thank you.
Thank you.
Emma Kennard.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm picking up off of somewhere that was came up last meeting, that Michael Hoyt was allowed to constantly attack a person that's running for her seat this coming fall. But nobody really realized the fact that he's supposed to be a delegate at something. And they're supposed to be people of hard moral standards if they're checking everybody else. He lives at a non-residential spot, and he was allowed to run and sit on that seat. And he's yet going on and trying to blackball Miss Gwen. And so it was open that who he attacked. So that's why I called her name. And I think that it's wrong for you all to sit still and allow him to do that time and time again. And it's already been investigated that she is cleared. So why is he trying so hard to keep her? I think it's because it's election year, even the speed up of working on the streets and everything. Soon as the election is over, it'll go back to the normal thing. And this is what I see at each election, that happened. So we need to pay attention to what's going on, how things is being ran. So we need some work done among our heads, because if the head don't operate right, the body won't either. And so I'm looking for a change, and that's the only reason that I've even run for a seat, is because I know it needs to be a change. And this city is in the state of being prayed hard for, because there's a lot of things that we don't see on the surface that is really going wrong on the bottom. But they'll tell you everything is just fine, it's beautiful, better than it ever been. Well, just think about it. It's getting worse, because there's no reason that technology and everything doesn't help our commission operate more smoothly. They tell you technology is here to stay. So I'm thinking that if you're not following through and doing your research through technology, then it's just negligence that I see. And many times for the, as far as the water deal, it was Reverend Edward Pinkney that got on it. And you all should stop lying and stop trying to take the credit for something you didn't do. I came here time and time again, beg you all about the financial manager who oversees the monies and things go coming in and out. And one other thing that you all are not doing is really giving yourself a slap on the wrist because you're even dumping on your own ground. These things are against ordinance. There, I saw years ago where you was illegally dumping right down there at Valley Drive. So it's still a lot of dumping and other things that's doing. And look, you're gonna reap what you sow. Just wait and see. It's coming. So I've tried to talk to you all. That's the only reason I ran, is because I talked and talked and nothing is being done in the area that I speak about. Thank you.
Thank you.
Deidre Fields.
Come behind Miss Emma. Good evening, everyone. First off, I'm Deidre. I'm supposed to say that again. I want to thank everyone that came and special thank you to Commissioner Ron and Commissioner Jerry in support of All Things Wellness in Hall Park. That was an environmental / wellness event. I think it was great turnout. And like I said, so everybody that came was appreciated. I wanted to just indicate nothing negative from me. I just wanted to indicate that the second tire recycle and cleanup is extended through the 22nd. It's at 472 Cass, which is the Bobo Brazil Community Center / Armory, right? So through the 22nd, we're going to allow for tires to be dropped off. The ideal time frame is 3 to 7, but as our assistant city manager instructed me to give a deadline as of a day, because I actually have flexibility in regards to delaying the pickup again for the sake of it being full. It houses 1,000 tires, rims and all, and this is free. So I know the county commission is having it, but it's not free. I don't remember the rate for that. I don't know if it's like $2 to $4 a tire, but this one is free. So that's it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Jewel Baker.
Good evening.
Good evening.
If you don't mind, I prefer to stand. I won't be very long. I would just want to say that I've been going back and forth with the commissioner. Is that okay now?
'Cause we're on YouTube and we want you for them to be able to hear you
Okay,
and to the World Wide Web.
okay. For the last 3 years, I've been going back and forth with the city of Benton Harbor. There's an empty lot right behind my house where I have to go in and out. I go out the back. And the person, I won't call any name, but my commissioner knows whose name I'm talking about. They would ticket, I guess, whatever that little sign is you put on. He would cut the front of the yard, which is on Baird. But the back of the yard, he would do nothing about it. And they would cut trees and stuff off the front and throw it at the back. I saw him out there once and I said something to him. And at that time, he had a few little pieces of greens out there. And he said that would keep people out of his garden. And it's just bad. And now it just looks like a jungle over there. Trees growing up for the last 3 years. Grass needs cutting and all of that. And one other thing, there's a tree right next door to me. In fact, I own the house. But the city cut the top of the tree off, all the leaves and everything, and left this beautiful 9-foot stump in front of my house. And I got pictures of it if you'd like to see it, because there are mushrooms growing on this 9-foot stump. And I've been paying taxes ever since I've been here. And I want to, what is my tax money doing that I can't get anything done, can't get grass cut, trees cut down, or whatever. So I would appreciate it if whoever's in charge of all this stuff kind of get on somebody and get this stuff taken care of. Thank you.
If you can email the pictures,
Too.
to that email.
Okay.
You want me to email some pictures?
Please,
Seriously?
seriously.
Marvin Haywood.
Good evening. I feel y'all pain. I've been doing this for years, to the commission. Truly, it is a new day. I was saddened by what I just heard, but it touched my soul. But I've been coming down here for almost 10 years, And I remember they talk about it in 2017. Yeah, I know what Joe Harris did. Joe Harris did a lot. But they have been in controls since 2017. And we had 2023. I've never been in disagreement with change. But fair exchange, if it ain't fair, it's been a robbery. And for years, it's been a robbery going on in the city of Benton Harbor. I've talked about equity because equity is real, and I've been doing this for years. And I fail to say that I don't have a lot of common sense, but I see it for what it is and not for what it seemed to be, and I've tried to deal with everybody in a respectful way. I have to go around my elbow to get to my thumb to actually slow down this train that they trying to move through and take over this city with. So when you say I'm not doing something, I ain't doing it out front because I'm not a narcissist. I don't have to be out front to get attention for doing something, because if you're out front, you're not doing nothing. I've been here for years. Every time you ask people for comments, how is it that for a year, the city manager ain't never had nothing to talk about? The only time he spoke up about something is when I gave that man credit for coming up with a master plan. He said, no, that's our plan. That's the city plan. See, first and foremost, I do this for a living because it ain't about me. It's about the people that you say you serve. 4 years ago, they did the same thing with the city income tax money. They went to fixing the streets because it was election time. But you do it during the winter. You're doing it through a time where you inconvenience everybody in the inner city. People got to get to work, but they can't get down Pipestone. They can't get down Columbus. And if they don't remember in the morning, they're going to be late because they don't be remembering these things because it come at a crucial time. Our people need change. And see, that's what I'm trying to usher in, the change that will help the citizens of Benton Harbor, Michigan. And you wonder why the people over in the new area said they want to hold their tax money. And you wonder why the court said he going to put it in escrow, because they want to make sure that it's done to keep their area clean. Just like that lady talking about, we shouldn't have to have this stuff going on in the city. They didn't talk to y'all for years. And you talk about sending you an email. It ain't like you're going to do nothing to it. It ain't like you're going to get on top of it. I remember when that lady came down and said her house was flooded. You said, we're going to take care of it. A week later, I went over there and the house was still flooded in the commissioner's area. You went to a house. The next day, I went over that lady's house. Her house was still flooded and the water was coming in the house. But y'all left here that day. We're going to take care of it. See, this is what we're saying. It ain't about us. It's about keeping it real. See, facts is fact and truth is truth. And that's all I'm saying. Facts is facts and truth is truth.
James Duncan.
Commissioners, Mr. Mayor. We've as citizens have asked for things for longer than these people are talking about. Citizens always have something to say, and especially this one. The more I see, the more I know each one of you guys, and I've been around longer than 10 years. I know what change is supposed to look like, and I know what is not looking like. We can dress up in these suits We can curl our hair. We can do whatever you want to do, but if the citizens are not being serviced, and I mean serviced, I don't mean totally like the agenda. I mean, if we're talking about reparations, that would interest me as a citizen. If we were talking about having some advance notice about the streets was going to be demolition, because that's what they really are. Just a little advance notice. We tried to get a newsletter. I haven't seen that one yet, but I know it's a way where we can, get information, because once one person knows something about you in Ben Harbor, everybody knows something about you in Ben Harbor. And the more your name come up in a negative way, then you try to act like it's non-existent. But I'm going to pray to my God that all of you guys change, every one of you, your way of thinking about what can be on the agenda. You could start with that. You could start about why we couldn't be the first to do things like any of this. Bobo Bazile Center is Bobo Bazile Center to me. I don't know about anybody else. If you were here any real length of time, you would know that it's the Bobo Bazile Center. And I thank you guys for hearing me out. Changes in us as a people. And I'm talking about us as a people. I'm not saying anybody else, because I'm not including anybody else in my way of thinking. I'm thinking it's all on us to change our way of living and our lifestyle. And until we get on the agenda, I'm going to continue to think what I think. Thank you.
Thank you.
Clyde Collins.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
First thing I want to say is I want to appreciate all the help that I've been getting. I appreciate you. I love you. Because love, as we all know, covers a multitude of sin. And we know Ben Harbor right now, we need some love. Love, sweet love. Self-love. We need all kinds of love. Mostly we need unconditional agape love is what we need. That's what we really need. You can go look that up, go Google that so you know what agape love is, because I know you probably don't know. But anyway, but thank you for everybody that's helped me so far. Keep up the good work, because I'm working just as hard as you are, if not hard. Because definitely we going to make a change. It's going to happen. It's going down. That's right. It's going down. And somebody going to tell me, oh, get ready for a beat down. Okay, guess what? I'm ready for a beat down, but I'm also ready to give one out. Have a good night. Yeah. Yeah.
No more comments.
I'd like to thank everyone for your participation in the public comment, or citizens' comments. This brings us to our consent calendar. Are there any items that should be separated? Please order in the chambers.
It is order in the chambers.
Chair recognizes Commissioner at Large.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'd like to request item 5, 6, and 7, please.
Eight? Did you say 8?
No.
She said 5, 6, and 7.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
Motion is made by Commissioner Singleton. Is there support? It is supported by Commissioner Henderson. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
With the exception of one, which I voted in the planning commission. Yes.
Noted on Mohammed and Henry.
That's also for me too. Thank you.
This brings us to the first separated item on the agenda, which is an ordinance amending the city of Benton Harbor's noise ordinance to providing for violations thereof as civil infractions. Is there a motion for the approval?
Motion to approve.
Motion is made by Commissioner Adams and is supported by Commissioner Henderson. Is there discussion? Chair recognizes Commissioner at Large Adams.
You can take the general lady if you like.
No, I just,
Okay, thank you, Honorable Mayor. This is long coming and I didn't want to stay on it too long because we've only been working on these type of ordinances to change since I was legislative chair. And now that we have, if our attorney could just give a brief overview for the residents to hear exactly what this legislation means.
Certainly. Thank you, commissioners. For a little bit of background for the audience and the commissioners who maybe haven't heard this at a committee level, the city of Benton Harbor is chartered as a home rule city. And that gives you a lot of authority to pass local ordinances and to determine what penalties you're going to impose for violations of those ordinances. What you have before you tonight, and this is really a report for the next item as well, you have two ordinances that deal with non-assaultive crimes. These are minor issues. The first one is your noise ordinance. So if you think of yelling and shouting, loud music, things like that, non-assaultive crimes, minor crimes, and nuisances is next, so I'm gonna cover that too. But these are minor crimes. And right now, the penalties on the books for the city are misdemeanors. And I wanna talk about what that means, because if somebody's charged with a misdemeanor, let's say they make loud noise and they're charged with a misdemeanor, a lot of people think, well, all I did was make some noise. I was too loud, they get a ticket, and if they don't go to court, because it's a misdemeanor on the books, if they don't go to court, a warrant gets issued. And that can have repercussions down the road. So people think in their mind, wow, this is a really minor crime. I don't need to go to court for this, I'm just gonna skip the court date. But then a warrant goes out for their arrest and there's a whole slew of repercussions for them. The impacts of criminal records impact housing choices, they impact education, they impact employment. And all of those things are things that we want our residents to have as much access to as possible. So I really need to give a lot of credit. I want you all to know where this started. This really started with your Department of Public Safety. They started looking at your ordinances and exploring what makes sense, what penalties fit the crime. This also went to your Public Safety Committee and your Legislative Committee. They get all the credit for this because they worked really hard on this. It is important to decriminalize these offensive. This to me is a measure of what I'm gonna call restorative justice. And there's still penalties. What restorative justice means is there's still penalties, there's still fines that are imposed. You still have to go to court if you violate one of these ordinances, but the penalties are mixed with mercy. And I think that's really important. So I'd like to thank all of you because you as a commission have been supportive of this. You have attended committee meetings and all of the credit goes to our mayor, our commission, and our public safety department for looking at this. So thank you for letting me report on it. I think it's important for the public to know that this is happening. And there's going to be more amendments before you as we look at more ordinances.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I'd like to just add to that and finish with that actually, is just to let the community know that this has been ongoing and things don't happen overnight. That this has been long fighting because a lot of our family members in this predominantly Black community gets caught up in the traditional system of St. Joe. And it's a cycle that keeps our younger people without their license and just all type of things. And we're really being lenient with them on this noise thing because it just needs to stop. There's no need for your car to be just putting potholes in the street because of a beat. Hey, that was a beat. Thank you, sir.
Call for the question. Chair recognizes Commissioner Singleton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Just to add to, it definitely been something has been working on for quite some time. Matter of fact, way back, I think in the 90s or so, was trying to do that. Some of the good old boys, seeing that as being soft on crime, and they was able to convince, some of the people then to not do it. But when it came to committee, as we discussed it, it brought back a memory of a case that happened where a young man had got cited for loud music. There was a thing going on where everybody was complaining about the loud music. The commission said zero tolerance, and this person got stopped and ended up with a misdemeanor charge. Later on, that young man applied for a job, got the job, but they held it up and said, wait a minute, you got a misdemeanor on your record. Luckily then, I was sitting in the acting city manager position then. I was able to write a letter and explain it to his employer, that this was not a serious deal, and in my position to that it really wasn't a misdemeanor crime, So the young man got the job. He worked, and later on went to Ben Harbor High School to work and won a basketball championship as a coach. So those are some of those instances, just in his, cases, a lot of them where folks that type of thing don't mess their record up. And so, as the attorney said, restorative justice. So I'm glad to see that this commission is able to get this passed and bring some relief to some of the people. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll call for the question.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
This brings us to the next item on the agenda. An ordinance amending the City of Benton Harbor's nuisance ordinance to provide a clear description title for section 2 and to declare violations of the ordinance as civil infractions. Motion is made by Commissioner Adams. There's support. Supported by Commissioner Singleton. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Brings us to the final resolution providing support to urge the Michigan legislature to end the sale of flavored tobacco products and repeal section 14 of the Tobacco Products Tax Act.
Motion to approve.
Motion is made by Commissioner Adams. Is there support? Supported by Commissioner Henderson. Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
I guess I have a question. And I'm sure that nothing goes into effect until this ordinance has been stamped, sealed, and delivered.
It's not an ordinance, Commissioner.
I'm sorry?
It's not an ordinance.
Okay, resolution, okay. So upon this resolution, it takes place. I was in one of the stores, and I think that we have something else to worry about beyond the tobacco flavor for our youth, our children. And it's like, in the stores, it's like some type of inhaler thing
Vape.
flavor vaping, yeah. Yeah, so I guess legislatively, that's something else that we need to look at, but
Yeah, this would cover that.
it covers this as well.
It does.
Great, then it gets my approval. Thank you.
Are there any other comments? So this was a group that came and did a presentation to the Park and Rec and Public Safety Department at length, gave slides and statistics, and have been working diligently. But as with the liquor license, this is handled on the state level, where this licensing is given out by the state of Michigan. But what they're trying to do is influence municipalities where we, local control and all politics is local. And where we can use our voices to influence the legislator to look at these laws and change them to protect young people and youth and people in our community, because the statistics pointed to that the sales are by and large in Black communities. But what we also have found is that it's popping up everywhere. So it's not, in terms of with young people, it's not exclusive to only urban or Black communities. This is actually plaguing across the board. So that's why I can support this resolution. And I do think Commissioner Singleton, thank you for allowing this to come to your committee. Did this come to legislative as well? And as well to the legislative committee? I call for the question.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
This brings us to staff comments. Chair recognizes our Deputy Director of Public Safety, Director Clark.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for helping with the passing the decriminalization. We'll get on that so the officers know what they get the updates when they get out to them. Other than that, thank you for everything and you have a good day.
Thank you. Chair recognizes our Assistant City Manager and Community and Economic Development Director, Director Little.
Thank you, sir. Nothing special this evening.
Thank you, sir. Chair recognizes our City Attorney.
So everything I have was already said. I really appreciate the commission so thoughtfully considering this and working so hard on it. So congratulations, this is a huge step forward for your citizens.
Thank you. Chair recognizes our City Clerk.
Thank you. I just wanted to report a little bit on voting in the election. As you know, the election is November 7th. So far, 521 absentee ballots have been mailed out. They have to be back by 8 p.m. on election day in order to count. This coming Saturday, the 21st, will be a voter access town hall at 1 o'clock at the Boys and Girls Club, the Teen Center. I will be there until 2:30 for anybody that wants to come in and register for an absentee ballot or bring somebody in that's not registered to vote. We can do that on that day. There will also be updates on the upcoming laws for 2024 and a chance for anybody to ask questions about anything that they have concerning voting. So again, that's this coming Saturday at 1 o'clock at the Boys and Girls Club. And then I was asked to invite the commissioners out to the ceremony for Ann Hare Way. That's going to be on Saturday, November 4th at 2 p.m. And that is all I have today.
Is there an update on the Will Brascom?
Not yet.
Chair recognizes our City Manager, Manager Mitchell.
Nothing to report, Mr. Mayor.
Chair recognizes our 4th Ward Commissioner, Commissioner Clark Griffin.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Last meeting, there was a lot of campaigning and politicking. Don't be tricked. No, I've been in my seat less than 2 years. I've been cussed out. I've been threatened inside and outside the chambers. I've had a false police report filed on me by a colleague and their friend with nothing but lies. That's what's really going on. The mayor condones bad behavior against me, his friends up here and out in the audience. He continues to do that. Him and his friend try to manipulate the votes. They attack people who don't agree with them by bullying and intimidating us. Watch it play out. Look at some tapes. Keep looking. You'll see it happening. They have forgot to be about the people's business.
Yeah.
You know, they take credit for stuff that's been happening that we are voting on, but what have you done individual as an individual for the resident. I can name probably 8 things or more. I'm in the progress of planning another event that's gonna take place in December. So don't be fooled. It's a lot of politicking going on up here. It's a lot of mess. It's a lot of bad behavior going on up here. You know, I try to sit quiet, but I'm not gonna keep on allowing it. And it's gonna stop. So I just want you guys to keep it watching, keep playing, seeing what's going on. It's time for a change. Ben Harbor, you deserve better, much better. You don't deserve the treatment that you are getting. And as far as this Harbor Tower, you know, I heard the mayor at the debate say, well, you're gonna work on it. This been going on for decades. I've been hearing about Harbor Tower, it's been going on. He mentioned also he's been in the seat 12 years, 4 as a commissioner, 8 as a mayor. Why hasn't something been done now? So it's time for a change. Don't, every 4 years, you hear promises. Every 4 years, what happens? Get the vote, nothing changes. You know, and a lot of these funds has been coming from federal and state. What's gonna happen anyway? So don't be deceived, don't be fooled, you know? And yeah, when it's over, I'm sure it's gonna be some more attacks in the comments because it happens all the time. A lot of those comments, negative, that my colleagues, it's against me. But, you know, I hate God put me here for a reason.
Amen.
Have a good night.
Chair recognizes third ward commissioner, Commissioner Henry.
Thank you, Mayor. I can remember in 2008, Americans all over the United States was asking for change. 2008, people wanted change, and Benton Harbor was one of them. We cried, change, we need change. Now, the status quo, and I have to say, I'm one of the status quo. I've been here a long time. And I hear people saying, whoa, we got people been here for 20 years and ain't did nothing. But I stand up on that and ask them, prove it. Because see, I have a record. I've been here. I know all the dirty things that we do in politics. I know who's doing it. Long time ago, they turned me and said I was the conscience of the commission. Matter of fact, Mr. Mayor called me that. He gave me that title, and I had a conscience for it. He was the commissioner then. It's a new day when you become a mayor of a city that the state has tried to get us to change our charter to make a mayoral government. Yes, change is important, and what you have to do is to vote the change that you want. And then when you vote them, you make sure that they do what your will. It's the people's will. So vote, take somebody to vote, know who you're voting for, and look on YouTube and see what we do. There's a record of everything we say and do here. Every vote counts. And if it's not voting for you, the residents, it's because you're not making us vote for you. Stand up. The squeaky wheel get the oil. If you don't squeak, we don't know. So I tell you, vote. You want change? Vote for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes second ward commissioner Edwards.
Good night.
Chair recognizes Commissioner at Large, Commissioner Adams.
Thank you to everyone, residents, taxpayers, for coming out to see how your federal government, well, not federal, but local government is working for you. or not, because sometimes it does and sometimes it just doesn't, and it's always been like that. I can remember watching TV as a kid, this little commercial on the Saturday talking about going up to Capitol Hill to get them to sign a bill. You know, government, it's real. It's real. Government, actually, I'm like, what that little I learned later on what this little character was singing about. You know, I remember speaking with Miss Rockette, and she came down here years ago when she was starting her businesses. And she does fabulous work at taking care of those that can't take care of themselves. And it's hard when you have children, or even yourself, when you have critters in and out of your house. She showed me. I went to see it literally. And I complained about it for years, and I still do. I still do, because something has got to be done. But you know, on a personal level, I see myself having to go through this thing after being married for 23 years of clutter. We clutter our lives with stuff that we don't know how to get rid of, and then our family members have to get rid of stuff when we leave, because we're leaving. We just don't know when, and it's not fair. But what happens in all of this, and I don't want to be one of those victims that become mentally ill to where I need someone, but I'm actually watching it with somebody else that's living next door to me and that lives behind me at another property. And I'm working on those issues, even though I'm really not tasked to. Everybody needs to read the charter to see what our role actually is as an elected official and what it takes to become an elected official. There are some of us that bend over backwards, turn flips, and a whole lot of other stuff to try to get stuff done that you don't see. And I try to be the elected official that I want representing me, going overboard. And I have done so for the past 23 years, standing on my feet, doing hair, having to stop, take my husband to work, come back, cook, clean, and take care of 3 grown children in the first 3 years and watch them all graduate. It's a task, but you have to be willing to do more than what you were just elected to do. That's who I want representing me. And that's who I try to be. Actually, that's who I've been. And actually, I'm so tired and fed up with funding coming to government that moves so slow because of the process. I'm fighting with other organizations around this country, not just locally, to take it out of the hands, to stop it, and let the grassroots organizations take care of business for the communities, because who better knows the needs? And guess what? It's happening slowly but surely. Keep watching. And good luck, everybody that's running.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner, First Ward, Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Just like to thank all of the residents that came out, and for everyone who voiced concerns about the issues that's happening in the city of Benton Harbor. I just had a couple of comments in regards, and this is really for Commissioner Yarbrough. Thank you for your report, and we weren't able to ask questions in regards to your report, but I'm just curious to know how much money was allocated toward the city of Benton Harbor from the county, and what happened with the 30 million that the county received. So those are just a couple questions that I would like to answer in terms of what happened with the county, because you talked about an apportionment guy coming to explain some apportionments that will be happening in the county. But just wanted to know where those apportionments, what portion of those apportionments was the city going to receive, and what does that cover? If you can get those answers to me.
We'll talk, because I can't.
I know you can't now, but those are just some of the questions that I had, because you gave a very in-depth report about some of the things, especially when it came to the money. We just wanted to know how much the county was investing in the city of Benton Harbor from some of the taxpayers and taxes that we pay. And you said that there was a renewal coming. What was that renewal? What did those taxes cover? So, thank you.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Ison.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. For all your comments, Commissioner Yarbrough for the update, thank you so much. I I want to say thank you, Mrs. Jefferson, McAllister. She lived next door to the fire that happened. She want to thank public safety and all the municipalities that helped out in the fire, the Ben Harbor Public Safety and the other ones that helped out. Because she said if that wind would have been blowing, it would have blew right into her house. So she just want to send out a shout out, thank you. She was real worried about the fire spreading to her adjacent, not space where our house was at. And just talking about Miss Jefferson, she's a part of the Hillside Block Club. We have Dolores and Jeanette. You know, we right in the fork there at Colfax and 8th Street. We used to plant flowers there, and this big old brick planters. You know, I don't know how somebody jumped the curb and just tore the planter just to, you know. So, you know, I don't understand, we have to take care of our city ourselves, we gotta try to put in a little effort, we used to plant them flowers in there every summer. We had 3 there. One got broke up, gone. One now just scattered, just going, so we got 1 more, to help beautify the city, the Hillside Block Club is a group of older ladies, Miss Joseph, Dolores and Jeanette, myself, my wife, Miss Mary, what's his name? Anyway, but yeah, that planter was real nice there, so hope we can maybe get some funds to replace the planter, something like that. Even working with Avonmarsh to fix that flooding water on Colfax when it rains. And I was talking to Jason from Avonmarsh. He said it's just plugged up. It's been plugged up for a long time. It messes traffic up. And my heart goes out to the lady that spoke about the trash. It shouldn't be that way. We need to jump on things. I know we talk about trust the process, but process you got to start somewhere, and you got to finish it. I know she didn't want to. She said she's been coming since 7 years. I think we can do better than that, but I'm sure we I know she came here about a month ago talking about that. So I hope we can jump on that and get some things resolved in this city. We will not be having a personnel and finance meeting Wednesday. We'll be at a convention in Traverse City to learn more about how more governmental things, how cities should be running, and to learn, to learn. But through all this, everybody want to live peaceful, better life, the betterment, better with living, So I can tell you, expect great things. God bless you. God bless Ben Harbor. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Mayor.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner at Large Singleton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I'd like to thank the people for coming out to voicing their concerns. Definitely, Ms. Baker and Ms. Rackett, I've heard that complaint also, and I do know the individuals that own that property, and that, they know better. And I would ask that the Deputy Public Safety Director, manager, if they can have inspections to definitely, get on that right away. Something that should be addressed in those folks, like you say, we'll call them name, but I do know people that own that property, and they do know better. They gotta do better. I know it's political season and everything, but, I heard, one colleague talk about the name calling. That's part of the,
Process.
that's part of the, you're gonna get called some names and, I got called all kind of names, I got called, all kind of names by a person that calls himself a reverend, but, hey, no big deal to me, because my, confidence ain't, predicated on what he think about me. But, I just want to see things get done in the city. As far as money coming, I think it's an ideal time now, you have to be ready. It used to be that they would try to get it, money that was designated for Ben Harbor, they try to give it to somebody else because they felt that we wasn't ready to handle the money, Cornerstone and other agencies, was trying to get the money. But I think we have shown, especially the years coming out of receivership, that we're worthy of handling the money right. You hear people, where's it going? Well, you can see, certain monies are designated for certain things. You can't have money designated for the street, and then you take the money and spend it on something else. Community development block grant money is designated for certain things. And what had happened in the past, people had got that money and used it for other things in the city, and the taxpayers didn't have to pay that money back. So I think this commission has been quite responsible over the years that I've been here. You got to have people getting in the doors, meeting the different officials, and sitting down at the table, making the case for the people as to why we need the money to come here. And I do think that the mayor has represented us well in that. So we come back to the commission, and the commission has made right decisions after, some hard vetting. We'll go through committees, and it's vetted real hard. And I think at the end of the day, we come out and make the best decision, for our citizens. And only thing we have to do is keep the momentum going. So I was told change for change's sake just ain't, the right thing to do. So thank you, Alderman.
Thank you, Commissioner Singleton. Just like to thank everyone for coming out. I'd like to congratulate those who were appointed to the Construction Board of Appeals. Also like to just announce the Ox Creek Award for $1 million. We had, as one of the public participants stated, there was an environmental community gathering centered around the announcement of Ox Creek, which is a total of $5 million that it has received. Last year when we went to the Michigan Municipal League Conference, learned about the Spark Grant, our staff came back, immediately applied for $1 million to restore Hall Park, and we did receive the award. So those plans are being hatched as we speak. Also Project T, which is, we took a big step today through the Planning Commission as well as the City Commission today. I believe it's about $33 million development, where phase A will be 30 units, single family for sale homes targeting mixed income individuals and families. Phase B is 8 single family for sale homes offered through Habitat for Humanity. Phase C, mixed use 4-story building with ground floor childcare and retail use with upper level residential units. These units will include market rate units and units for renters below 80% of the area median income. It also will be commercial space. We also had last Tuesday, the announcement for the corner of Wall Street, which is a $17 million development, 49 units, affordable assisted housing, a grocery store, as well as social services offered to the residents inside. We will be attending the Michigan Municipal League Conference, where there's $81.7 billion out of the state budget. We will be learning how our cities can acquire the monies and the resources that's needed to move the city of Benton Harbor forward. As you know, we have to work with state, federal, county government, as well as private investors, because it's not a lot of money that we receive from the residential tax dollars and even commercial at this time. So we have to be very creative to attract them investors, but also sit down with government officials to make sure that the money continues to flow to the city of Benton Harbor. I was invited to attend a conference in Arizona. The One Water Summit, the U.S. Water Alliance, where hundreds of top water leaders will gather in Tucson, Arizona for the One Water Summit 2023. It is the premier national conference focused on sustainable, integrated, and inclusive approaches to managing water, our most precious natural resource. The city of Benton Harbor is being recognized nationally for the work that was done with the lead service line project. We're 100% complete, where every lead pipe is out of the ground. And we also have work being done inside of people's homes to address the issues. So although there's a lot, to improve upon, because the biggest room is the room for improvement. But I'd just like to ask that we pray for those suffering around the world, because there's a lot going on beyond our 4.4 square miles. So is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to approve. Motion to adjourn.
Is there a motion? Motion is made by Commissioner Adams, supported by Commissioner Singleton. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin?
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Commissioner Isam?
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton?
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Mayor.
I forgot about you.